Hey Hotshots, welcome to Emotional Fire Academy. I'm Jess here today to talk about the best jobs for highly sensitive people. Subscribe to my channel if you are an HSP ready to up-level this year, grab life by the horns, get out of a job you hate, whatever you're looking to do. Welcome to Emotional Fire Academy. That's what we do here. We help HSPs evolve. I'm Jess. I am a master NLP practitioner and former firefighter. So, I have an announcement to make. Before I continue the video, I have a brand new course I am working on called The Emotional Extinguisher, How to Blast Away Negative Emotions. This course is going to be epic. I am literally generating all these great ideas and going really deep on topics I've already talked about. So if you are ready to step into mastery this year, emotional mastery, this is going to be the course for you. Stay tuned. It's coming up in the next few weeks, and it's going to be incredible. So after that announcement, all right, so what is the easy answer to this? What is the simple answer to the best job for highly sensitive people? And the answer is, what does your heart say? What does your heart say? What does your heart say? Because that is really, such a personal thing, right? Career. And I know you've heard this advice before. I know you've heard, listen to your heart. I know that you know what your heart is telling you to do. I know that you've had some I should do that feels good. These little spontaneous bouts of ideas that come up. I know you've had them. The question is, why aren't you following them? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid could happen? What are the stories that say, yeah, but the market's saturated, or I can't do money making that, or I can't, yada, 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 yada. It's all up in here. The mind is the creative element of our consciousness. The brain and the mind make up limitation where there doesn't have to be, because it is a pattern generation machine. We look for patterns, we make meaning of them, and then we draw conclusions. That is how the process works. I'm telling you that we actually live in a matrix. Everything is an illusion. Nothing that you are using to hold yourself back is actually real if you decide that you are going to commit to what you actually want to do and be more committed than your fears. So, and I speak this from experience. Now, I get a lot of spicy comments about this. This is a hot topic in the HSP world. People are so ingrained in their stories, and they vehemently tell me, yeah, but I'm doing that. I am out there living my dream and blah, 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 blah. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, nothing can hold you back. You just have to commit. You just have to commit and be like, it's more worth it to me to live my own dream and do what my heart tells me as a career, as a job, as a calling, than to go out there and find another job, to stay on the hamster wheel. Stay on the hamster wheel. And we're going to talk about the difference in feeling in just a moment between happiness and fulfillment when it comes to a career. But what does your heart say is the next step? Follow it. Go follow it. That's it. It's that simple. No list that the internet provides. Nothing that I say. This is about you and your heart and what your heart is telling you to do. And I really believe our hearts are the operating instructions for us. You know, our minds ruminate and create and go around and around and can't decide and decide and thinking blah, 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 this storm. But our heart is very simple. Our heart's like, do that, quit that, go there. It's very straightforward advice from our hearts, and it is safe advice. Following your heart is the correct advice. It's what you're meant to be doing. It's what you are meant to be doing. And often when we don't listen to our heart, we're going to have this perpetual nagging of I should be doing something different, or it doesn't quite feel right. You're just going to be something is off. That's because we're not listening to our heart. Now, I speak this from experience. 10 years ago, I quit corporate America. I was 29. I vowed to myself I would never go back to corporate America, and I would never work a full-time job again. Because that's what my heart told me to do. So I leapt. I leapt into the void. I had 6 months left on my lease. I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent, but I miraculously, it worked out. it worked out. I figured it out. I found a way. It was better to me to follow my heart and walk on that path than to continue doing anything else, right? I started a freelancing career from there. That worked out. The next thing was a tour company. That worked out. And I made revenue in all of these things. People, I've had a few people say, well, unless you've actually done it, I've done it. I followed my heart for 10 years career-wise. And let me tell you, the difference between happiness and fulfillment. The job chasing. I was job chasing before I made this decision, before the juncture came for me. You can find, right, in looking outside of ourselves for happiness, in looking for the perfect job, there's going to be this sensation of being on a hamster wheel, because every job is going to have its pros and cons, right? When we're basing our happiness on the job, we're looking outside of ourselves. We're never really going to find the job that is perfect, right? We have to let go of this perfect job. All of the jobs are going to have pros and cons. Some good points, some bad points, and we leave the job, we go find another one. It has different pros and cons. We feel unfulfilled. We go to the next job. It has different pros and cons. And there are good days. You can be happy and have good days at a job that isn't your purpose. That a job you're doing just to survive, just to thrive, just to be able to live. You can find some degree of happiness. But it's going to feel, there's going to be this searching, there's going to be this nagging, because your heart's like, hey, what's your purpose over here? And we're on the hamster wheel, and we quit the job, we go to another one, we quit the job, we go to another one. Or we're always looking, and nothing ever fulfills us. So you can have that, you can get moments of that happiness, but when it's bad, it's really bad. And you're like, whoa, this is not it. This is not it. I need to change something. Fulfillment. So stepping into your purpose. How do we step into our purpose? Check out the video I did on this, how to find your purpose, if you haven't seen it yet. When we listen to our heart, we follow the advice, we go do it, we start to live our purpose, there comes this deep sense of fulfillment, of satisfaction. Your soul is calm, your mind is calm. And even the worst day, working the career, the job, being an entrepreneur, even your worst day of that is better than your best day at a job that isn't your purpose, right? This fulfillment is nourishing, it's sustaining, it's grounding, and you're going to know the difference. You're going to feel the difference. I haven't been on the hamster wheel for 10 years. I don't remember what that feels like anymore, and that's awesome. And that deep fulfillment sustains you through rough patches. When you don't have a great day in your business, or, you are working a job you love and it's not a great day, you're still motivated to continue because it's deeply fulfilling. You're doing what you are meant to be doing on this earth. And that is nourishing. That's nourishing to our souls. So a couple of the ideas that we need to let go of when we're looking for information like this: finding the perfect job, There is no perfect job. We're looking to that job to make us happy. The job will always have pros and cons. And we're always going to be evolving. So you're going to be evolving even beyond that job, right? We're always growing, we're always learning, we're always expanding. And even our heart is always being called to new and different things, right? And so we need to let go of there's one job that's going to fulfill me. We approach it with a spirit of experimentation. I'm going to try this and see how it feels. I'm going to try this out. Because you can have, work that you actually love and crappy coworkers, which, makes it kind of unpleasant. You can have work that you really hate, but awesome coworkers. And so again, the pros and the cons, that's part of the hamster wheel, right? So the search for the perfect job doesn't exist unless you make it, which is what I did as a serial entrepreneur. You can do that as an entrepreneur. So just knowing that, realize that if you're looking for the best job, you're looking outside yourself and starting to turn inward, master your emotions. Because when we're happy on the inside, when we're naturally joyful and present and living in the moment and excited to be alive, grateful, all these good things, when we're naturally that way because we have mastered our emotions, it doesn't matter what the job is. It doesn't matter what job we're working. Like, it doesn't, because we're just like, yeah, I'm grooving, I'm working in a call center, I'm whatever. You know, you've run into those people who are just naturally happy, whatever they're doing. They're joyful and present and you know, living life in the moment. So that's another thing, you know, turning inward, focusing on our own happiness takes the pressure off of the job. You know, learning how to master ourselves no matter what's going on outside of us, no matter what's going on in the job, no matter what our coworkers are doing. That work pays off every time, whether or not we're in the right job for us. Questioning, you know, what's more important to us, happiness versus fulfillment. Happiness, being happy that we can pay our bills, happy we can survive, happy we have a stable job, or feeling fulfilled because we followed our heart. You know, it might be a slosh, but it's a worthwhile slosh because we're living our purpose. You know, which one is more important to you? Sorry, checking my notes. Because, yeah, we live in a matrix. Nothing is off limits to you. You're an infinite creative being. You can make anything happen. I'm proof of it. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've been living in a state of fulfillment and following my heart. Things have been working out for me financially in that way. You know, like it starts to flow, it starts to jive. Your heart's advice is safe advice. It's safe advice. It's what you're meant to be doing. Don't hold yourself back. Go for it. Go for it. And if you are someone who maybe you genuinely don't know what you're meant to be doing. In the purpose video, I talked about identifying your core values. These are the 4 or 5 qualities that you really live for. Now, once you've identified these and you're really they resonate with you, you can, and mine, by the way, are adventure, authenticity, being the best, freedom, and uniqueness. Once you identify these, you can use them as a filter for any jobs that you think you might want to do. You know, you can write down any job you've considered doing, any career you've considered doing that maybe popped into your head or looked cool, or, you know, make that list and then write down your core values and really evaluate each of those based on your core values. Like, is this going to scratch the itch for me of my core values? You know, will doing this work scratch that itch? And you can even rank your core values. You know, what is the number 1 and the number 2, number 3, you know, in order of importance to you. And that even helps you refine further. You know, if for me, freedom and adventure are really high up there for me. Freedom is probably number 1. Freedom is always, if I don't feel free in something, I will rebel instantly. So freedom and adventure. So, you know, going through the list of things, that I've done, those were often the jobs that I liked the most, where I had freedom and it was adventurous. Being a tour guide was one of those. I've been different types of tour guides, right? I've been a food tour guide. I've been an overland tour guide. I have been a city tour guide. So being different types of tour guides, like that, really freedom and adventure, wow, nailed that for me. So you can do that. You can polish it with your core values, and you will then be able to find something that is straddling, you know, the line between that happiness and fulfillment, or at least you're getting a lot closer to fulfillment because you've picked work that is deeply satisfying to you, deeply fulfilling because that's who you are. And that's also a nice thing to remember when you are in the job, to use your core values to be like, I'm going to focus on the adventurous part. You know, like, let's say as the tour guide, you know, I'm going to focus on the adventure of taking my tour group out every day. I'm going to focus on the freedom I have. I am all by myself. I gotta troubleshoot this all by myself. That is very freeing. We get to go where we want to go, or well, not always. We had kind of routes, but the freedom of working autonomously. And those are the parts you really want to focus on in the job, because if you pay attention to the things that maybe are irking you, we then tend to spiral out a little bit and get back on that hamster wheel of like pros and cons, pros and cons, pros and cons, pros and cons. We want to focus on the job through our core values to help us get that, kind of squeeze that fulfillment out of it, get closer to that soul satisfaction. So let me know what you think. Drop a comment below, and stay tuned for the Emotional Extinguisher course. It is going to be the core of your foundation for emotional mastery, so that you can work any job, so that the details of life become a little less important, because we're not looking outside of ourselves for happiness, but we're self-generating it. We're self-contained. We are creating our own joy and pleasure and fulfillment, so that the things that are happening outside of us mean less and less and take less precedence in our life. And then we become more resilient, more able to craft our reality, etc., etc. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day. Bye.